Hello traders, you're welcome to this video. In this particular video, we are going to be discussing a 15-minute Forex strategy. Okay, we're going to be looking at an effective 15-minute Forex strategy that focuses on spotting high probability setups while managing risk and maximizing profits. Okay, so basically this strategy uses a combination of key indicators, price action, and solid risk management principles to help you trade confidently on shorter time frames. We're now going to be going into a step-by-step process of how to use this strategy. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be setting up the key indicators that we need for this strategy, and they are the EMA and the stochastic oscillator. So we're going to be adding up the EMA to our chart right away. Okay, we're going to be using the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. Okay, we're going to be using the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna change the color of this to make it so. All right, okay, and then we're going to be adding up the stochastic oscillator. That's the second indicator we're going to be using. Okay, all right, so now if the price is above the 50 EMA and the 50 EMA is above the 200 EMA, it indicates a strong uptrend. So for example, we had price above the 50 EMA here, and 50 EMA was above the 200 EMA. It shows a strong uptrend, and we can see that price rallied all the way to this point before it began to range, all the way up to this point. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if the price is below the 50 EMA, if the price is below the 50 EMA and the 50 EMA is below the 200 EMA, right? It indicates a strong downtrend. Okay, so now we can see that here price was below the 50 EMA and 50 EMA crossed below the 200 EMA as well. So we had a sell for a while. I had a sell from this point, 17 o'clock, 25th of June. We had a sell until 27th of June, right? 8 o'clock. So about 2 days sell or so, about 2 to 3 days sell. Okay. Now, as for the stochastic oscillator, basically we already know how the stochastic oscillator works. We've discussed it in previous videos. It uses the overbought and oversold technique. It shows you when an asset is overbought and when an asset is oversold, and then it uses the crossover signals. When the main line crosses below the signal line from the overbought region, it shows you a sell. When the main line crosses above the signal line from the oversold region, it shows you a buy. So now we need to identify the trend. We need to identify the trend before you pick your trades. Identify the trend. Always trade in the direction of the trend. It's very important in this strategy. So if the 50 EMA is above the 200 EMA, look for buy opportunities. If the 50 EMA is below the 200 EMA, for example, this case, we would have been looking for buy opportunity because the 50 EMA was above the 200 EMA. But in a situation whereby we have the 50 EMA below the 200 EMA, we'll be looking for sell opportunities. Okay, so this ensures that you are trading with the market's momentum. It's very, very important that you are trading with the market's momentum. As they say, that the trend is your friend. It's very, very important. Now, as for the entry signals for a buy setup, okay, which is in an uptrend, buy setup. In this strategy, our buy setups is only in an uptrend, okay? So you have to wait for the price to pull back toward the 50 EMA, okay? Okay, so you have to wait for price to pull back. For example, now we already had a crossover, right? So wait for price to pull back toward the 50 EMA, and this happened around here, okay? But not cross, don't let it not cross below it. Yeah, just pull back towards it, right? So that happened around here. Now the next thing to do is we confirm the setup with the stochastic oscillator being in the oversold zone below 20. So in this situation, the stochastic was in the overbought, so it was not a good one at all. Okay, so we're going to look for another opportunity because the stochastic has to be in the oversold, right? It has to be in the oversold. Very, very important. Okay, very, very important. All right, so now Yeah. I guess I found another opportunity here. So we see that the price is trading above the 50 EMA. Oh, this point it broke below it. Yeah, we just need a retest. We don't need it to break below, right? Okay, here we can see that price is trading above the 50 EMA average point. It broke above it, right? And then we had a retest around here, and then here we can see that price was close to the 20 level and it was pointing upward. I mean the stochastics was close to 20 level and it was pointing upward. So we get a confirmation from the stochastic oscillators, right? So this would have been a good opportunity to enter a buy trade, okay? Because the moving average has confirmed it, the stochastics has confirmed it. So you can enter the trade once the price confirms a bullish candlestick pattern. That's the final confirmation. So we can see that we had a bullish candlestick pattern around here. So we would have entered a buy right after this bullish candlestick pattern, and then we would have set our stop loss below the candlestick pattern or below the moving average, the 50 MA. Can set our stop loss, a tight stop loss below the 50 MA, and then we can consider setting our take profit at the next resistance level. Or we can wait for when the 50 EMA crosses below the 200 EMA, and that happened around here. So we would have ridden this buy all the way up to this place if we are going to use the bearish crossover for our exit. Okay, so just know that the sell signal is just the opposite, right? The sell signal is just the opposite. You have to wait for price to cross below the 50 EMA, and the 50 EMA should be below the 200, and then you should have a retest of price to the 50 EMA, and then you get a bearish candlestick pattern, and then you have a stochastic oscillator pointing downwards from the overbought region, at least close to the overbought region, even if it's not inside. Okay, so it's just the opposite of a buy, basically. Okay, so now in terms of risk management, in terms of risk management, um, your stop loss, it is very, very important to place your stop loss just below the most recent swing low. Okay, that is for a buy. For a buy, it is very important that you place your stop loss just below the recent swing low. So had it been we had entered a buy trade now somewhere around here, yeah, this would have been a good place to set our stop loss just below the recent swing low. Or if you want a tighter stop loss, you can even set in, like if you see a bullish candlestick pattern form, you can even set your stop loss below the bullish candlestick pattern. That's for a buy trade, right? So that most likely the bullish candlestick pattern might even be around a swing low, because most of the times, candlestick patterns like that form around a swing low. Okay, so that's going to be a good place to set your stop loss. And as for your take profit, you can use risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2, or more, and then you can target support or resistance zones. Resistance zones for a buy trade, support zones for a sell trade. Okay, now it's also important that you limit your risk to 1 to 2% of your total account balance per trade. It's very, very important. Okay, capital preservation is paramount. Okay, so this ensures that even a string of loss will not deplete your account. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, in terms of maximizing profits on short time frames, in terms of maximizing profits on short time frames, there's something we call scaling out. Okay, something we call scaling out. Once the trade moves in your favor by a certain amount of pips, for example, like between 10 to 15 pips, you can consider taking partial profits and moving your stop loss to break even, to lock some gains while reducing gain. So, for example, now when you have price move in your direction, like enter a buy trade, for example, and then we have price go 10 to 15 pips in your direction, you can just move your stop loss from the previous swing low to break even. Like you move your stop loss to the point of your entry. Okay, it's gonna help you to safeguard your capital. The amount that you were risking before, you're not gonna be safeguarding it. So no matter what happens, you're not going to lose in that trade anymore. Okay, so worst case scenario is that you're going to break even. So that's what we call scaling out. Once the trade moves in your favor by a certain amount of pips, like 10 to 15 pips, you can consider taking partial profits. You can consider taking partial profit. Like if you enter the lot size of maybe lot size 0.02, for example, you can decide to take 0.01 profit. When price have moved like 10 to 15 pips, because you are using the smaller time frame. Remember, this is now we're talking about maximizing profits on short time frames. Yeah. So when you are scalping on short time frames, when price moves like 10 to 15 pips, you can decide to take half of your profit, and then you can now move your stop loss to break even to lock in some gains. So irrespective of what happens, you're even going to be in the profiting position because you have already locked in half of your profits, and then you are now breaking even the remaining half. Okay, so that's like a good thing to do, or the good thing to consider. Yeah. So now the next thing is, if the market shows strong momentum, you might want to trail your stop loss below the lows for buys or above the highs for sells. So for example, now if the market is trending, you can be trailing your stop losses. If it is a buy trend, you can be trailing your stop losses below the swing lows. As more swing lows are forming, you can be trailing your stop losses. Like, for example, we had set a stop loss below here initially, and then price rallied up to this point, and then we had a pullback. Now, after price began to go up, we can carry our stop loss to this point, and then after a new low formed, we can move our stop loss again below the new low that formed. Okay, so basically that is how you can also use to like safeguard profits in case price starts going against you. You would have already secured some profit. Okay, so now some tips for improving your performance. You need to watch for key support and resistance levels, like enter trades near important support and resistance levels for better trade setups. Okay, enter trades near important support and resistance levels for better trade setups. Now, if the price breaks through these levels, it often leads to a strong continuation in the trend. Yeah, so you need to enter trades because, for example, when you are entering a buy trade around a support level, the chances of a drawdown are low, really low, unless if that support gets broken. So if you enter a buy somewhere around here, the chances of a drawdown are very low. If you enter a sell around a resistance, the chances of a drawdown are really low. So you might want to enter trades near important support and resistance levels for better trade setups, so that if the price breaks through these levels, it often leads to a continuation in the trend. It often leads to a strong continuation in the trend. So now, for example, if you are in a buy trend, if you are in a buy trend, right? Remember that we want to be entering only buy trades in a bullish trend and sell trades in a bearish trend, right? So now, if you want to enter a buy position in a bullish trend, like after we have a pullback, if we have a pullback around a support level, we can consider entering a buy. We can consider entering a buy around a support that formed. You can see that the 50 EMA is acting as a dynamic support on its own. It's actually acting as a dynamic support. But in addition to that, we can also use our horizontal supports just for extra confirmation. For example, now we can see that here, price actually dropped to the 50 EMA. It retested it, and then it continued upward. But at the same time, we had a horizontal support level around there. So this would have been a good opportunity to enter a buy, because remember that we have to check out all that confirmations. One is that the price is above the EMA, the 50 EMA, the 50 EMA is above the 200 EMA, and at the same time, we have the stochastics pointing upwards, and it was not in the overbought. So that is like extra confirmation. So this would have been a good opportunity to enter a buy, and then we could have considered setting our stop loss right below the previous swing low. Okay, so basically that is how it works. And then you might want to avoid choppy markets. When the price is moving sideways with no clear trend, it's best to avoid trading. Okay, when the price is moving sideways with no clear trend, it is best to avoid trading. So you might want to wait for strong trends to form before entering any trades. Okay, you want to wait for strong trends to form before entering any trades at all, because in a choppy market, the chances of false signals are quite higher. Yeah, the chances of false signals are quite higher in a choppy market. So you might want to wait for a clear trend to form before you enter any trades. Okay, that's very, very important. Now, the final tip we're going to be considering is to follow the economic calendar. Yeah, to follow the economic calendar. So you should be aware of major news events that can impact the forex market. Be aware of major news events that can impact the forex market. Okay, so we might want to avoid trading during volatile news releases. Okay, we want to avoid trading during volatile news releases, as they can cause unpredictable price movements. So by following this 15-minute Forex strategy and combining it with solid risk management techniques, you'll be able to spot high probability setups, make confident entries, and maximize your profits while minimizing your losses. But remember that no strategy is foolproof. Yeah, no strategy guarantees profit. So make sure you always trade with the amount you can afford to lose, and make sure you always practice good risk management. Okay, so I hope you found this video insightful. Kindly like and subscribe for more trading insights. Thank you and happy trading.